Riddle number 1. Let's start with a puzzle involving Japan's official currency. You probably already know that this coin is called yen, but how is it able to float on the water's surface? You'll have 10 seconds to figure it out. If you think it has something to do with the metal this coin is made from, you're absolutely right. 1 yen coins are made of aluminum, so they're very light. If you didn't get it, don't worry, we're just getting started. Riddle number 2. Now let's take a little trip to Japan's second largest island, Hokkaido. There, on pretty much every road, you can find these mysterious pointers. What are they for? Time is ticking. Hokkaido is located at the north end of Japan, so the winters are pretty snowy there. And that's exactly when these pointers are necessary. They show where the curbs are on the road so that snowblowers know what area should be cleaned for proper road traffic. Riddle number 3. Japan is known for its incredible sushi. However, in Japan, sushi is usually served with a bamboo leaf. Why is that? Your 10 seconds start now. It's actually an echo of the times when people used bamboo leaves to take care of sushi. You see, whenever they needed to go on a long journey, Japanese men and women marinated sushi and wrapped it in bamboo leaves so that it would stay fresh for longer. After a few days on the road, these leaves were perfect for figuring out whether the sushi was still edible or not. Nowadays, people in Japan rarely do so, but bamboo leaves still go hand in hand with Japanese sushi. Riddle number 4. In 2016, one seemingly simple math riddle went viral in Japan when a Japanese research group found that only 60% of people in their 20s can solve it. Here's the equation, and you have 10 seconds to solve it. Remember, if you need more time, just pause the video and think it through. So what's your answer? If it's 1, congrats! You've cracked it! In this puzzle, the most important thing is to remember the order of operations. You should always do multiplications and divisions first, so 3 divided by 1/3 gives us 9. Now you just follow the equation and subtract 9 from 9, which gives you 0, and add 1 to get 1. A big mistake that a lot of people make is viewing 1/3 as 1/3 so that it looks like 3 divided by 1 divided by 3. This error gives you 1 instead of 9 in this bit of the equation. Tricky! Riddle number 5. Take a look at these cute illustrations. What are they used for? Have your answer ready in 10 seconds. These adorable pictures are actually used in the Japanese post. People in Japan send letters pretty often, and these nice little illustrations, when combined with traditional stamps, make the correspondence look even prettier and more interesting. Riddle number 6. On each Monday in October, Disneyland is full of people as if it's Sunday. The thing is, it's a work day, and there are no school holidays in Japan in October either. So why are Mondays just as busy as Sundays? Every October, Japanese kindergartens and schools have several very big events that usually last pretty much all day. That's why on Mondays, kids are allowed to rest and enjoy themselves at Disneyland. Riddle number 7. Now take a closer look at this unusual pattern. Its main element symbolizes an important part of Japanese culture. Can you guess what it could be? Use your imagination. So, any ideas? Well, it's a bird's-eye view of the popular Japanese haircut called the chon-mage. This men's hairstyle is basically a shaved head with the remaining hair in a top knot. Japanese people associate it with samurai and these days with sumo wrestlers. This puzzle can be quite a challenge to Japanese culture experts, so if your answer was relatively close to the right one, you're definitely a quick-witted individual. Riddle number 8. Okay, now let's dig a little deeper into Japanese schools. Even if you're not a student anymore, you probably remember your school days, right? So look at this image right here and try to guess which school subject Japanese teachers use it for. You have 10 seconds. This picture is actually for geography class. It helps students remember certain outlines on a map. So if you're still in school, make use of this creative Japanese hack. Riddle number 9. Now it's time to get in touch with your inner detective because I have a little mystery for you. The captain of a Japanese ship always removed his ring before he took a shower. However, his ring was stolen one day. There were 3 suspects that could have done it. A man who said he was gathering clothes that needed to be washed, a man who explained that he was trying to connect to the radio station on the shore, and a man who said he was fixing the Japanese flag that was hanging upside down. The captain instantly found the thief and got his ring back. Can you figure out who stole the captain's ring just as quickly? Let's find out. It was, in fact, the guy who claimed he was fixing the Japanese flag. It's just a red dot, remember? So it simply couldn't hang upside down. Riddle number 10. This last riddle is widely used as a full-fledged IQ test for job positions in Japan. It goes like this. There are 8 people standing next to a river. A father, a mother, 2 sons, 2 daughters, a police officer, and a thief. They all need to cross the river, but they've got a bit of a conundrum. Only 2 people can be on the raft at a time. Only the father, mother, and police officer know how to operate the raft. The father can't remain alone with any of the daughters, and the mother can't be alone with the sons. And of course, the thief absolutely can't stay with any of the family members without the police officer nearby. Now that is a puzzle. Your task is to help all of them cross the river. I'll give you a little hint. It'll take more than 10 moves. Again, you've got just 10 seconds to figure it out, but you can always pause the video for more time. Okay, let's go through this process together. The most obvious threat is the thief, so let's get him to the other side right away. The police officer can easily do that since he can operate the raft. There's the first correct move. Now, the sons can't be with the mother, but who said they can't be with the police officer? Let's have the cop return and get one of the sons to the other side of the river. However, we can't leave him with the thief, so the police officer has to take the thief back to all the others. Next, we should get the other sons across safely so he can go with his father. Next up, the father comes back and goes to the other side with the mother. Since mom can't leave the daughters on the other side, she has to return. However, she still can't leave her daughters with the father, remember? That's why the cop and the thief should get to the other side first, and the father should return. After all, his sons are safe as long as there's a policeman around, right? Now the father can't be with the daughters, so he has to get on the raft with the mother once again and return to the other side to his sons. The mother can now easily help her daughters cross the river. The father won't be alone with the daughters as long as the police officer is there. Just 2 more moves, and there you go. Whew, that was a lot, right? If you were close or even gave the exact same answer, great job! You are a true champion of riddles! 1. A weird coat. What kind of coat can you put on only when it's wet? You have 10 seconds to figure out the answer to this puzzle. The answer is a coat of paint. Ah, clever. 2. The sailor and the cloth. A sailor has a piece of fabric that's 16 feet long. He cuts 2 feet of this fabric per day. How many days will it take him to cut the whole cloth? You thinking 8 days? Sorry, but that's not right. The sailor will only need 7 days. The last remaining piece will be 2 feet long, so he won't need to cut it. 3. Weightless Enigma. I have no weight, but you can see me. And if you put me in a water bottle, it'll become a lot lighter. What am I? Right you are! I'm a hole. 4. It lasts for a day and stands in the middle. It also has a name. What is it? It's Wednesday, of course. 5. Jailhouse Art. A prison holds art class for prisoners every Monday. Guards escort participants to the class and search them at the end of each lesson. Today, however, these prisoners are going to hold on to their art supplies and keep them inside their cell. But the question is, which of them now has a chance to escape prison? Your 10 seconds starts now. Time's up. And the answer is the prisoner in the top left corner. He can use his green paint to turn his clothes green and pass as a guard. 6. Empty-handed. What can you fill if your hands are empty? Well, this question is downright confusing. How can I fill anything if it's not in my hands? Good luck figuring this one out. Oh, it's gloves. 7. Hidden treasure. Martha really loves her little sister Marie, but one day Martha had to go away for the whole day. She didn't want Marie to miss her too much or get bored, so she organized a treasure hunt for the girl in advance. Before Martha left, she gave her little sister a map and told her that if she followed the instruction, she'd find a real treasure. Marie followed the map to a T. She made the exact number of steps and turned at all the right spots. She eventually got to the end and started digging. The little girl dug and dug, but found nothing. Naturally, she was pretty upset. When Martha got back, she took the map and almost immediately found the treasure. How so? Hopefully 10 seconds will be enough for you to crack this mystery. Martha made one major mistake when she was drawing the map. Her steps were a lot bigger than Marie's. That's why the younger girl couldn't find the spot where Martha had hidden the treasure. 8. Who's lying? Lisa woke up in the morning to find a large sum of money missing from her purse. Her husband was on a business trip, so the only person that could have taken the money was one of her 3 kids. Her 17-year-old son Chris, her 15-year-old daughter Karen, or her youngest child David, who was 13. She asked her kids what they had been doing the night before. Chris said that he was at the club with his friend Rick. Karen said that she'd gone to bed right after dinner because she had a headache. And David explained that he'd gone to the arcade with his baseball team after practice. Lisa knew immediately who took the money. Can you crack this puzzle in just 10 seconds?
Chris was lying. He was only 17 years old and couldn't get into any clubs. 9. Which tank will get full first? A faucet runs over 12 tanks. Some of them have one tube leading to another tank, while others have 2. Can you figure out which of these tanks will fill up first? The correct answer is tank F. The water coming from tank L can only go there since tube H is blocked. 10. A security guard. What does a security guard do when a bird sits on their head? Probably shoos it away, right? Well, I'll let you decide this one. If a bird is just sitting on a security guard's head, then this person is most likely sleeping. 11. No affirmative answer. What's the question you will never ever answer yes to? As for me, there's a whole bunch of them. The question is, are you asleep? 12. A paradox. What can be forever wound up but never gets annoyed? You have 10 seconds to identify this mysterious something that seems to have nerves of steel. It's a jack-in-the-box. 13. Transfer the water. You have a plate full of water, an empty glass, a box of matches, and a cork. How can you transfer the water to the glass without touching the plate? Your 10 seconds are ticking, MacGyver. You need to place the cork in the middle of the plate, put one match on top of it, and light the match. After that, you cover all that with the glass. Once the match burns out, the water will start to gather inside the glass. Show this magic trick to your friends. They'll love it. 14. How to get the animals across safely. A man is traveling with his 2 sheep and a wolf. Interesting pets to have. The wolf would gladly attack the sheep if the man decided to leave it alone with them for even a moment. At some point, the man reaches a river that he needs to cross. He finds a boat nearby, but unfortunately, he can only take one of his animals at a time. How on earth can he get all the animals across safely without leaving any of his sheep alone with the wolf? Your time starts now. First, the man should take the wolf across. After that, he needs to return to pick up the first sheep. When he reaches the side where the wolf is, he should leave the sheep and take the wolf back with him. Then the man should leave the wolf on the initial side and take the second sheep across. The last thing to do is to return to pick up the wolf. And voila! 15. Why did he die? Hannah doesn't like her husband, yet she kindly cooks a meal for him every day. One day, the woman prepares a nice steak dinner for both of them. She cuts the meat in half and each of them gets a piece. After her husband eats his portion, he goes blue and suddenly dies. But Hannah is totally fine. How did she manage to survive if her husband died from poisoning? As you may have guessed, this wasn't an accidental food poisoning. Hannah put poison on one side of the knife so that only the piece she gave to her husband was poisoned. 16. Which car? 7 cars are stuck in an intersection during rush hour. Everybody is hurrying to work, but unfortunately, there's now a bad traffic jam on one of the busiest roads in the city. However, if only one car was removed from the picture, the rest of them would be free to go on their way. You have 10 seconds to figure out which car is preventing the others from going any further. And the correct answer is car number 3. Try removing it from the image and you'll see that the rest of the cars will be able to proceed without any problems. 17. A bird on a branch. A blue jay is perched peacefully on a tree branch. Aw, how cute! But you still need to cut this branch down. How can you do this without bothering the bird? Just wait till it flies away, that's all. 18. Left or right hand. According to the rules of etiquette, which hand should you use to stir sugar in your cup of tea? Well, if you want to follow etiquette rules, you better stir your tea with a spoon and not your hand.